we start some more remarks with some more remarks. Suppose if I want to, uh, we have say root 5, root 45 minus root 5. Okay. Then how do you work with this? Now remember, root 45 minus root 5, you cannot add or subtract these two. But what you can do here is you can convert 45 to a mixed and then try adding or subtracting. Okay. And how do you convert? If you prime factorize 45, you are going to get 3 square into 5, right? Minus root 5. And you know that root over, because there is a multiplication sign in between 3 square and 5, you can write this as root 3 square into root 5 minus root 5. Now root 3 square is nothing but 3, and root 5 you write as it is minus root 5. Now if you see, these two are they look alike, isn't it? Both have root 5, and this looks like 3x minus x, which is equal to 2x, right? So this 3 root 5 minus root 5 must be equal to 2 root 5. Okay, you can do it in this manner, or what you can do here is, instead of thinking as 3x minus 2x, you can take root 5 common and you get 3 minus 1. So that you get 2 root 5. Either way, whichever way you think, whichever way you feel convenient. Okay. So whenever you are adding or subtracting two surds, it is not necessary that you will not. For example, look here. You have a 45 under the radical, and you have a 5 here. It looks like we cannot add these two, or you cannot subtract these two, right? But actually, when you converted this to a mixed surd, like here, then you were able to subtract, isn't it? So whenever you get addition of these of two surds, try to convert into mixed surds. Mixed surds, whenever you convert pure surds to mixed surds, it will always be helpful. Okay, it will always give you a very clear picture of what it actually is. Next remark. How many remarks have I given you till now? Two remarks I have given you. Third remark. The third remark will have four parts. Okay, first part is, remember this, that root a, if you are given root a, this root a plus root b, and if you are given root a minus root b, then how do you multiply these two, root a plus root b into root a minus root b? See that this is of the form a plus b into a minus b. See that this is x plus y into x minus y. So it should give you what? X square minus y square. Remember from your algebraic identities. So this is a plus b into a minus b form. So this should be here root a square minus root b square. And root a whole square, you know, is a, and root b whole square is b. Okay, so please remember, whenever you get this type of multiplication, root a plus root b into root a minus root b, it is always equal to root a square minus root b square. Okay, the next remark is a plus root b into a minus root b. How do you multiply these two? A plus root b into a minus b. Also, what you see here is, this is also of the form x plus y into x minus y. So the result will also be x square minus y square. But remember, in this multiplication, what is x? X here is a, so a square. But b, y here is root b. Okay, y here is root b. So therefore, when you are multiplying these two, you get a square minus b. Is that absolutely clear, the difference between a and b? Fine. If that is clear, then we move on to the next one. See, if you have root a plus root b whole square, if you want to expand this, okay, this is very, very important because we'll be using this. Okay, in fact, these two also will be using it. All these will be using. Okay, so please take note of these. Root a plus root b whole square. How do you expand this? You do this by a plus b whole square formula, x plus y whole square. How do you expand this? This is equal to x square minus 2xy plus y square, isn't it? So what you will do here is that you will expand this by a plus b whole square formula. What is a here? X here. This is x square minus 2, x is root a, y is root b, and this is y is root b whole square. So I have expanded this by a, sorry, this is also plus. So I've expanded this by a plus b whole square formula. This is plus here. Okay, x plus y whole square is x square plus 2xy plus y square. Fine. So now root a whole square is simply a plus 2 root a into root b. So twice I can combine these two because there's a multiplication here. I can insert this multiplication inside the radical to get twice root ab plus, and root over of b square is simply b. Okay. So remember this. Similarly, you can have root a minus root b whole square. You have root a square. This time, because there's a minus sign, you have minus 2ab. So minus 2 root a into root b plus root b square. So this you have a square, a minus 2 root ab plus b. Okay. This will be very useful. All these four results a, b, c, and d will be very useful later on. Okay. Next, 4, e. How do you multiply these two? Root a plus root b into root c plus root d. Okay, all four, you have four surds here. Root a, root b, root c, and root d. All four are different surds. So how do you multiply them? You multiply them by the normal algebraic multiplication that we do. Okay, it is just like multiplying, say, a plus b into c plus d. Okay, that is like multiplying these two. Or better still, let's write x plus y. Let us write this as x plus y, and say I want to multiply z plus w. All four different quantities. Okay, how do you multiply this? First, you multiply x with z plus w, right? And this plus y you multiply with z plus w, right? This is how you multiply. And then what do you do? Xz plus xw plus yz plus yw, right? This is how you multiply. We'll follow exactly the same procedure here also. Okay, we'll follow exactly the same procedure here also to multiply. So what we'll do here is, you have root a, we'll multiply with root c plus root d, and plus, because plus root b is here, so plus root b we will multiply with root c plus root d. Okay, so now we'll multiply this, you get root a into root c plus root a into root d plus root b into root c plus root b into root d. Now root a into root c is simply root ac, root a into root d is root ad, root b into root c is root bc, and root b into root d is root bd. And that is how you multiply this. Okay, we'll come across this also, but not as frequently as a, b, c, and d. Okay, let us now see the next part. Next part is more of a statement. This is something more of a you can remember, you have to remember this actually. You cannot work it out. The remark here is fourth. Okay, if you have if a plus b root p is equal to c plus d root p, that is, if two surds are equal, Okay, a plus b root p, c plus two are irrational numbers actually. This is an irrational number, and this is also an irrational number because it has one rational number and one irrational number. So in total, it is an irrational number. Sum of a rational and irrational number is always irrational. Okay, so whenever you have a plus b root p into c plus d root p, what you can do is we can equate the rational and the irrational parts separately. We can equate the rational and the irrational parts separately. What does this mean? If you see a and c are the rational parts, so they can be equated. So therefore we have a must be equal to c. Okay, and these two are the irrational parts, right? These two are the irrational parts, b root p and c root d, but root p and root p are same, so therefore you can equate b is equal to d. Clear with this, or any question regarding this? Next remark is 5. 5 has two parts. First part is that if root a is less than root b, then you can square both sides to get a less than b. Okay. Similarly, if you have root a greater than root b, then also you can square both sides and you can have a greater than b. Okay, this was part A. And finally, if a is less than root b, then you can square both sides to get a square is less than b. Similarly, if you have a greater than root b, then also you can square both sides and you will get a square greater than b. Okay, so these are your sets of remarks, okay, which you must be mindful while working out the sums. Fine, so let us now work out one simple sum here, which is write in ascending order. In ascending order, what do you have to write in ascending order? You have to write 4 root 5, 5 root 3, 10, you have 3 root 7, 3 root 7, and you have 6 root 2. You have to write this in ascending order. How do you write? Now, if you see all the numbers that you see that are given to you here, they are either mixeds or they are rational numbers. Like here, what are the mixeds here? 4 root 5 is a mixed, 5 root 3 is a mixed, this is a mixed, this is a mixed. Okay, and the only rational part is this. Okay, you cannot do anything with the rational part. The rational part is okay. But remember, whenever you have to write surds in ascending order and you have mixed surd, convert. It is always helpful to convert the mixed surds to pure surds. So we have first we shall convert the mixed surds to pure surds. 4 root 5. How do you convert this to a pure surd? You write this as 4 square into 5. Remember how I told you to convert mixed surd to a pure surd? So this will become root over of 16 into 5. This will become root 80, right? Also 5 root 3 you convert to a mix pure surd, you get root over of 5 square into 3, which is root over of 25 into 3, which is root 75. 3 root 7. Again, this will become 3 square into 7, which will become 9 into 7. It will become root 63. And finally, you have 6 root 2, root over of 6 square into 2, which is equal to root 36 into 2, which is equal to root 72. Now, once I have converted all this to a pure surd, in order to arrange all these in the ascending order, what we are going to do is we are going to write this first. So we have, what are numbers? 4 root 5, 5 root 3, 10, 3 root 7, 6 root 2. And what are these numbers equal to? These now 4 root 5 I've converted to a pure surd as root 80. 5 root 3 I've converted to a pure surd as root 75. 10 will remain as it is. I don't have to do anything with 10. 3 root 7 I've converted to a pure surd as root 63. And 6 root 2 I've converted to a pure surd as 72. Now what I'll do is I'll look for the number that are within the radical. I'll look at, now we look at, okay, now what we do here is we square these, okay? We square these numbers. Squaring all the numbers. What do we get? We get root 80 square, root 75 square, and you get 10 square, which is 100. You get root 63 square, and you get root 72 square, which is same as 80, 75, 100, 63, and 72. So now all these have become rational numbers. Okay. Now what do we see? Which one is the since we have to write in ascending order. So which one is the lowest number? Ascending order. Which one is the lowest number? Lowest number here is 63. Then comes 72. Okay. Then comes 75, and then 80, and then 100. So now what does 63 refer to? Hence the irrational numbers in ascending order are, now see 63. What does 63 point to? 63 points to 3 root 7. So we'll write 3 root 7. So the lowest number here is 3 root 7. 72. 72 points towards 6 root 2. We'll write here 6 root 2. Okay. 75 points towards 5 root 3. Okay. 80 points towards 4 root 5. And 100 points towards 10. So this I have arranged in ascending order. Is that absolutely clear, or any questions you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you have no question, then one small concept, and then we'll move on to problems. Okay. The concept is that meaning of nth root of a. What does nth root of a mean? Now remember, nth root of a This we'll come across this result in when we'll be doing indices, or that is exponents also. Nth root of a always means a to the power of 1 by n. Okay, examples. Suppose I write fourth root of 5. This means 5 to the power of 1 by 4. Okay, so this is one. Another example is, suppose I write square root of 3. This means 3 to the power of 1 by 2, 3 to the power of half. Okay. Similarly, you can write square root of 5 as 5 to the power of half. You can write square root of 10 as 10 to the power of half, and so on. Okay. Suppose I write fifth root of 10. Then this means 10 to the power of 1 by 5. Suppose I write 12th root of 7. Okay. And suppose I raise this to the power of 5. 12th root of 7 to the power of 5. What does this mean? This means 7 to the power of 1 by 7 to the power of 1 by 12. First of all, we'll write. Okay, because 12th root of 7 means 7 to the power of 1 by 12. This is now raised to the power of 5. Now, by the laws of indices, you know that a to the power of m into a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m into n, isn't it? So therefore, this is 8. This is your a. This is your m. This is your n. So this is 1 by 12 into 5. This is 7 to the power of 5 by 12. Is that absolutely clear, this rule? We'll come back to this rule when we'll be doing indices. But for the time being, whatever I have told you, is that absolutely clear? Or any explanation on this you want?
Yes, sir.
No explanation?
No, sir.
Fine. Next, exercise 1.4. Let me see if I have exercise 1.4 here. Yes, exercise 1.4 is here only. We'll work out 3 or 4 problems from this exercise and then move to the next exercise. This is not a very important exercise. Okay. Write all the rules that I have given you here in your copies. And if I have the note for the next exercise, I'll send you the notes. Otherwise, I'll work it out here only. Okay, I have to check whether I have the notes for the next exercise or not. Okay, but exercise 1.4 definitely I don't have, so I'll work this out here. Exercise 1.4. Exercise 1.4. This is problem number 2, part 6. Let me write the problem for you, since it is very small for you to read. The simplify. Question is simplify 4 plus root 5 into root 3 minus root 7. Okay. So solution, how to solve this? How to simplify this? This is exactly as in algebra we do. So we have 4 plus root 5 into root 3 minus root 7. So exactly as in algebra, we multiply a plus b into c plus d, or c minus d, whatever. That is how we'll do. Okay. So first we are going to multiply 4 with root 3 minus root 7. So 4 root 3 minus root 7. Okay. Plus, because you have a plus root 5 here. Now plus root 5, we are going to multiply with again root 3 minus root 7. Okay. Either you can think of it in this way, or what you can also think of it in this way, as you have done. You can multiply 4 with root 3, so get 4 root 3. Then you can multiply 4 with root 7. So because you have a plus 4 and you have a minus root 7, The plus minus will combine to give you a minus. So minus 4 root 7. Okay. And you have a plus root 5 and a plus root 3 here. So plus plus will combine to give you a plus root 5 into root 3. And finally, root 5 will combine with root 7. And because you have a plus here and you have a minus here, you will have a minus sign. Plus and minus will combine to give you a minus sign. So root 5 into root 7. Okay, so either you can think of it in this manner or you can think of it in this manner. Either way, whatever way you write, whatever way you prefer to write, the next step will be, if you are starting here, if you have proceeded in this manner, you will write 4 root 3 minus 4 root 7 plus 5 root 3 minus 5 root 7. See that you are getting this only, this step you are getting. Okay, so either way you think of it does not matter. If you do this way, you'll actually be skipping one step. Okay, so it depends entirely on your convenience what you want to do. Fine. So we have now this. Now we look for how to simplify. You see that I have a root 3 here and I have a root 3 here also. So, but here I have 4 root 3 and 5 root 3. So I'll take them together. Just like in algebra we do, 4x plus 5x we take together. So 4 root 3 plus 5 root 3 we take together. And here you have 4 root 7, minus 4 root 7 and minus 5 root 7. We'll take them together. So minus 4 root 7 minus 5 root 7. Okay. And now 4 plus 5, 4x plus 5x will give you a 9x. So this is 9 root 3. And here you have a minus sign, 5 and 4. You can get a minus 9 root 7. Now you can take a 9 common and you get root 3 minus root 7. And that is your answer. Any questions on any step in this?
No, sir.
Okay. So if there are no questions, I'll stop here for today.